The grand ballroom shimmered under the stage lights, a familiar tension thrumming in the air. Season 11 of Love's Journey was drawing to a close, culminating in the highly anticipated reunion special. Though many of the cast had only just met in person, they arrived armed with strong opinions and burning questions, having witnessed each other's journeys unfold on screen. This convergence of perspectives promised an electric atmosphere. For seasons, the reunion specials had been guided by the steady hand of veteran journalist Sarah Jenkins. Known for her direct yet empathetic interviewing style, Sarah navigated the intricate web of relationships with practiced ease. While she always strove to foster understanding, recent gatherings had seen conflicts escalate, testing her ability to maintain a calm and productive environment. This season's reunion brought particularly heated exchanges between Lyra and Solana. They admitted to prior online interactions, a connection that had begun cordially but soured quickly. Solana claimed that in their messages, Lyra had made a preemptive apology for her behavior at the reunion, which Solana interpreted as a veiled warning. As they faced each other on stage, it was clear their unresolved issues ran deep. Lyra alleged that Solana had crossed a line, referencing Solana questioning Lyra's partner, Alex, and his gender identity. Solana's only defense was to challenge Lyra's trustworthiness. Then she stunned everyone by accusing Lyra of being insensitive towards gender identity. The episode concluded with Lyra's passionate rebuttal. The continuation of their dispute left for the next installment. The deeply personal nature of their argument was especially impactful given the presence of another cast member, Kay, a transgender man. Moreover, the entire confrontation revolved around events that had transpired off-camera, detouring from the primary focus of the reunion. The exchange was not only unrestrained, but also deviated significantly from the core purpose of the gathering. While cast member friction was a characteristic feature of Love's Journey reunion specials, there seemed to be a concerning pattern of these confrontations growing more aggressive. A recent Love's Path Final Destination reunion saw a cast member, Eliza, attempt to confront another Ben with a shoe in response to his repeated provocative remarks. The pervasive influence of social media had intensified disagreements among the cast. They frequently arrived at the reunion already having exchanged sharp words before ever meeting face to face. Returning cast members, like Eliza and Ben, often carried unresolved issues from previous seasons, further complicating dynamics. Thankfully, the season 11 argument didn't become physical. However, serious accusations shouldn't be made lightly, suggesting that the reunion conflicts were reaching a problematic level. The show's creators needed to seriously re-evaluate the reunion format to prevent future escalations. Sarah's gentle approach, a catalyst for confrontation? Despite Sarah's commendable composure during interviews, she sometimes hesitated to delve deeper when cast members were reluctant to fully disclose information. Sarah's tendency to move on without complete resolution inadvertently created openings for other cast members to interject. In her professional capacity, Sarah understood the boundaries of questioning, but the other individuals on stage were not bound by the same journalistic standards. When Sarah didn't receive a satisfactory answer from a subject, she often turned to other cast members, soliciting their opinions. This practice, while intended to foster discussion, inadvertently transformed private disagreements into public spectacles. Cast members often ended up attempting to hold each other accountable, a dynamic that contributed to situations quickly spiraling beyond control. Who should steer Love's Journey reunions going forward? The next host needs to be more assertive. A compelling option for Sarah's replacement was already familiar to many viewers of the network. Reports indicated that the reunion for Love's Journey, Quest for Connection, Season 1 was hosted by Anya Sharma. Anya was the current host of the Family Ties, Unfiltered specials. She also had a prior connection to Love's Journey, having hosted the 2021 special Loves Games. Anya possessed a more direct approach than Sarah, a quality that would be a welcome change at the reunions. Her persistence and no-nonsense demeanor appeared better suited for moderating confrontations between cast members. Given the escalating pattern of hostility, Love's Journey needed a host who could act as a firm moderator, and Sarah's gentle approach, while admirable, seemed to be falling short in the current climate. The whispers backstage were louder than usual. Production assistants bustled, their headsets crackling with last-minute instructions. The second part of the Love's Journey Season 11 reunion was about to begin, and the air was thick with anticipation, not just from the audience, but from the crew themselves. Everyone knew the previous segment had ended on a cliffhanger, and the unresolved tension between Lyra and Solana was a palpable force. Sarah Jenkins sat in her dressing room, the faint murmur of the studio filtering through the walls. She reviewed her notes, her brow furrowed. The recent reunions had been increasingly challenging. It wasn't just the individual conflicts, but a shift in the overall dynamic. Social media, she mused, was a double-edged sword. It fostered connections between the show and its fans, but it also became a breeding ground for pre-show animosity among the cast. By the time they arrived on set, some felt as though they'd already fought half the battle online. She remembered a recent interview with a veteran producer who had worked on a variety of reality television. The producer had spoken about the delicate balance between authentic drama and managed chaos. "You want real emotions," he'd said, "but you can't let it become a free-for-all. That's where the host comes in. You're the conductor of the orchestra, even when the instruments are out of tune." Sarah prided herself on her calm, measured approach, a style honed over decades of interviewing. But lately, she felt less like a conductor and more like someone trying to calm a storm with a whisper. The production manager's voice came through her earpiece. 5 minutes to air, Sarah. We're ready for you." She took a deep breath, adjusted her microphone, and walked onto the brightly lit stage. The audience clapped, a mix of genuine excitement and morbid curiosity. The cast members were already seated, their expressions ranging from defiant to apprehensive. Lyra and Solana were positioned directly across from each other, their gazes locked, an unspoken challenge passing between them. "Welcome back to the Love's Journey Season 11 reunion," Sarah began, her voice smooth and professional. "When we left off, Lyra and Solana were in the midst of a very intense exchange. Lyra, let's pick up where we left off. You had just responded to Solana's accusations. Can you elaborate on your feelings regarding what was said?" Lyra shifted in her seat, her eyes still fixed on Solana. "My feelings are, it was unnecessary. It was a low blow. We're here to discuss our relationships, our journeys, not to attack each other with personal questions that have nothing to do with anything." Solana scoffed, a quick, dismissive sound. "It was relevant to me. Your behavior online was erratic, and you were trying to control the narrative before we even got here." "Control the narrative?" Lyra's voice rose slightly. "I was trying to avoid this kind of mudslinging. I apologized for potential friction because I sensed you were already looking for a fight." Sarah interjected, her voice firm but not harsh. "Solana, can you explain why you felt it was necessary to bring up such a sensitive topic, especially regarding Alex, who is not even present in this discussion?" "Equals,"